Right. I'm beat. I'm beat. I'm starting this team. I'm beat. Been working my booty off. Uh, so busy. Update available. Oh no. Means I'm on the 220. Oh, 221 channel. I want to update the firmware, but that takes like 20 minutes. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to waste. It's a temper. 145, 49. Okay. It's quite nice. It's good. I've had this car for a while. I've been driving it around and doing stuff. Uh, so I got some time with it working on the startup and pretty much stuff like that. It's like we're smidge rich right now, but that happens. Post start and all that, warm up enrichment, all that stuff. Right now we're on pump. I was told that the gas light was on. They put 7 gallons in it, then they drove it and pulled 5 out. But this thing still says over half a tank, so either the tank thing's not reading right or somebody was telling me the truth on the amount of gallons they put in and pulled out. So I don't know if I'll get to ethanol today. I'm starting late. I want to do this one this morning. And my day job has been occupying all my time lately. I got a bunch of big things happening in that, and so I just haven't not been able to spend the time tuning and do all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's see here. We're in iron mode. We're sport sharp. Here's sports. Here's iron. Okay, those are off a little bit. I want IMO to be this one. It's the low boost setting. Then I want sport to be a little higher than that. We're going to go with sport sharp to be higher than that. Then you see that canval, that's actually a boost trim that the user has on this touchscreen here. So I can hit this button here and it adds boost. Like so. I don't know why I did 5.5. That's weird. 8, 7, 6. Come on, finger. That finger's too dry. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, bad. So that works. So that's the boost trim. So, like so. So you see an IMO with a boost at 0 phase, targets 30 kPa off of the boost mat up to the boost mat. Then in sport mode, I got from 0 to 30 above the boost mat. And then in sport sharp, I have 30 to 50 above the boost mat. That's what I have right now. And then inside this, I put limits um, based on ethanol concentration. So that's where we start. That's where it starts. However, I screwed that up. I got this at 50 there. Got to get rid of this last column. So, shit, just do what I say. All right, perfect. So now we got that. And this will probably go higher. I might make this like a 60 or an 80. We'll see. Um, in the end, then I will cap the boost based on lower ethanol, so that it wouldn't even go this high. It'd be down at the bottom. Yeah. And then if you're high ethanol, you'll get all of it. So yeah, this is probably going to be 80 by the end. Time to figure it all out. So okay, I wanted to get that part set up. I want to verify the other cal control stuff here. So, well, so 1, 3. Yes, that's right. Okay, so I is 1. There you go, sport. So 1, 2, 3. Those are our cal control maps. So we go here. 1, 2, 3. So I, right like that. Now I see this one's got a different launch table with the two. Having gone through all this stuff, I haven't done that. So here's boost targets, table 1, 2, 3, etc. So um, since this changes to table 2, I could also just make, or table 3 or whatever I change it to. I can also make my trim still goes 0 to 30, right? I make them all 0 to 30 and just have 3 different boost maps for each mode, and then the trim adds to that, which is probably easier than what I just did, and so I'm going to do that because that just makes more sense. We'll do this table 1, 2, 3, and then I'll be 0 to 30 or 0 to 50 or whatever off of that. Launch control tables. We'll figure those out when I get there. Speed limits, all good. Map limits, it's fine. All that stuff is good. Don't need anything else. Okay. Don't need anything else to be different with the tip. Yeah. Holy crap. What's here? What's up, guys? This is uh, uh, W25 heads with my cams in it. This does have the AWIC in it. It's got, so we did like 6 of these, right? And the first 3 were really, really good. And then we did different stuff for the other ones, and it was all upgrades. But we changed the routing of the water, and I don't think it's working as good. The last one that we did, it just was not cooling as well as it should. And so I think we have to change the water routing. That one has the same routing as this one, so we'll see how this goes. I anticipate that it probably will very well right now. We'll have to change the one stuff, but maybe not. This one's got a bigger core than the last one, and a few of the things that are slightly different, but the routing is the same. I think the routing is a problem, but we'll find out. If this one does what the other one did, then I know that is in fact the case because they have the same routing but different funds. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. What are the questions? La, 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 la. Yeah, so these are W25s of my cams. All right, cool. I think I got all the questions. Back to this stuff here. So I was showing, God, fuck you and your papas. So I was showing you guys that. Now, if we look here right now, you see TMF is higher than MAP, and our trim is pulling 6%. So that would say, yeah, we got lower TMF. But a little while ago, it was lower than MAP, and it was still pulling fuel. So, you know, there's temperatures and all sorts of things that are happening here. And I guess the biggest thing that I want to say is that unless you're using an actual mass airflow sensor, everything else is a model. Everything else is an estimation. Okay. Like even this charge temperature estimation, right? These things are all estimations because you can't perfectly model everything that goes on in these. You can't. It's fucking impossible because there are so many small nuances that affect everything that goes on in the end. So it's important to know that this stuff is an estimation and trims are going to bounce around. Maybe the heat is hotter at the pipe than it is at the engine, and that's going to affect, you know, the density measurement, you know, at one point. But then it's going to hit the ethanol, and that's going to cool it some. And even though there's models in this ECU for how much ethanol cools, it's applied as a general rule. it cools this much. Like if you look at the link, for example, tells you it cools this much. Well, the amount that it cools is going to depend on the difference in temperature. And it's going to depend on the temperature of the ethanol coming in. That's going to make a difference too. Not just the stoichiometric value of the fuel that you're using, which is what this table is mostly based off of. So if we go here and we go to temperature fuel and we go to offset here, this is how much is a charge temperature offset by the fuel type that you have, right? As I pump a bunch of ethanol in it and I have a super rich target, it's going to cool it more, okay? But also based on what the type of fuel is. So here on the left, this is pump gas at 14.7. Where we're at now, but we get ethanol, we're down here, and you can see that for the same air-fuel target, the ethanol is going to cool more. Now, this table is not accurate. That's not accurate. That needs to be adjusted a smidge. But the point is that even though that this is modeled, this doesn't show, well, hold on a second, because this is just a strict offset in temperature. It doesn't show what's the temperature coming in of the fuel. Is the fuel temp cold? Because the fuel temp's originally cold, it's going to cool even more. Is the fuel temp hot? If it's hot, it's going to cool less, right? And that's not on here either. And that's not on there for most ECUs. Like that's not a thing that exists. In fact, this isn't even a thing that exists on most ECUs. So it's just important to know that when you're doing anything, and I mean literally anything, that's not a mass airflow sensor, it's an estimate. It's a guess. It's a model. And so you can only get so good. Boy, this is not responding there. It can only be so good. So to sit there and fight your shit constantly over a few degrees or a few percent trims, it's futile unless you just have the time to do. I don't know. I don't know how much time you would need, but it needs a lot of time. So the point is that you got to keep in mind that there's going to be some errors. Now, obviously, there are parts where you don't want to have great errors. That would be like we're running full power. We don't want to have large errors, but that's where closed loop compensation comes from. That's where closed loop compensation really helps us out by not having, or helps out by having the ability to control the air fuel in closed loop in boost, which is something that ECU can't do and the factory ECU super cannot do. Like in any case, it just can't fucking do it. And even this is still too much. This gasoline isn't dropped. It's in clearance. So I'm trying to kill this a little bit. I mean, it's got some, right? It's definitely going to cool in some. It's still vaporizing in the airstream. But how much? And that's going to depend on a lot of things too. Where is it in the airstream, right? That's a huge factor. Where are your injectors? Are your injectors in the intake manifold and a TGV? Are your injectors in Are your injectors in a throttle body? Right? Because that makes a big difference if they're in a throttle body. Because you get a lot more time for them to cool. So how much time do they have to be in contact with the air fuel mixture or with the air mixture, creating the air fuel mixture, before it gets to the unit? So all that affects it. And then also this cooling isn't necessarily for charge temp as much as it's also how do I say this? Okay, so for the TMAF, it uses the temperature of the air as it enters the throttle body and the density to get the density of the air with the pressure, etc., to figure out how much you go through the throttle body. And then I cool it with the fuel afterwards. So that reading is based on the density at the throttle body. It's not based on the charge temperature, because the charge temperature drops. Right? So now we're talking about we need to have the fuel or the air mass calculated based on the density at that point. But then the ignition timing and perhaps maybe your target air fuel ratio will change based on charge temperature. Okay, so think about that again. I have air passing a point, known density, I got a known size, I can calculate that within a few percent. But then after that point, it cools off and gets put into the engine colder. Okay? If I use that cold temperature, I throw this calculation off. So I have to keep those separate. So the TMAF in this uses the intake air temp, not the charge temp. And a lot of people change it to charge temp, which doesn't make sense because that's not where it's at, right? That's the intake air temp as it passes by the intake air temp sensor, goes through that throttle body. Then it cools as fuel enters. And then we have to worry about how we're going to affect our target AFR and our ignition timing based on that temperature that goes into the chamber. Not the temperature right here. This is just a measure at this point. This should be an isolated area. And unfortunately, some people change that from intake air temp to charge temp and then make it no longer this isolated measurement. And that makes these errors even worse. And not so much at idle, but it makes them worse at the top ends. I don't know. All right, got that. It's my blend right now. Okay, and this guy, 50%. So split right now between TMAF and MAP. Okay. Well, the hell's going on? The fuck? Hold on a second. Oh, this didn't save. Okay. All right. Oh, I gotta start any of those street guys too. So tech should be like 3750-ish, something like that on one of these. This car's on 1700s, new ID 1750s, I mean, which are actually quite freaking good. Oh yeah, this fucking beeper thing. I'm sure you guys are hearing that. I don't hear. And fast. I have too much filtering on. Maybe my threshold's too high. Otherwise, you get a lot of fan noise and stuff. So I wasn't sure. I also have one out in the engine room. Engine room, boy, I thought maybe too long. Have this expander on. See, is that better or worse? Probably worse. Slow my threshold. This like this a little bit. How's that? Oh, it's distorted. Okay, now it's too high. Let me turn off this filter. Maybe this filter sucks. Save. Okay, now the filter's disabled. Is that better or worse? All right. Do a little low boost full here. Pulling through the dyno there. Probably a little rich, or I mean a little lean targeted. I'll probably do a more target than that. And yeah, I'll probably do a little more target than that. I got that shit super tight. Change that. It's never going to be 500 or 5,000. There we go. Pretty tight, but a little noisy here. Too bad. Like that whole cylinder is noisy overall because it's four. It's close to the sensor. You see it's, noisy overall, but it can use a little fuel right there. Just gonna bump down that lambda target. I gotta double check which one I'm on. Oh, you twat. And hit enter you. Lambda target. Oh, the spam. Oh, right in my eyeballs. Better. Okay, so lambda target one. Oh, yeah, we got a huge trim now all of a sudden. Why is that? Why am I getting this huge trim all of a sudden? All right, so lambda one is our target. Lambda one is here. See, on pump gas, we got to richen it up. Otherwise, it doesn't. Probably go a little leaner than that, though. Probably not be that rich. For, oh, now it's misfiring. So yeah, it wants a little bit of a rich target. Got some of these huge vectors. There we go. That's better. This could probably go a little closer though. Got it. Okay. All right. So what's with that freaking fuel terminal all of a sudden? Temps 106 just like before. That didn't change. Nothing really changed. It's good. Yeah, that'd be max out the trim all of a sudden. Both 50, 52, they're both around the same reading. So something made it pass. It's our fuel pressure. That's right. This is outflow correction. Wait, what happened? Oh, weird. I thought I went to freaking outflow correction. Oh, I fucked that up. I want this to be zero right now. Thought I was on the outflow table. Thought that's where I was. Let's try that. It's not gonna fix this idle thing right now, but I still have my correction at speed. Well, the outflow was that that's full. So it's not the outflow multiplier. So I was using that table wrong. Thought that was, I'll show you what how this works. So we have the outflow scalar. I thought I was just trimming the scalar with that. Apparently that's not the case. So I'm not trimming the scalar. Now with this, the higher the number, the less the fuel. So I'll just raise that then. But right here, see the temperature storage. So if I was saying earlier about fuel use charge temp, it doesn't make sense to me because it's before the fuel. Like, let's go back to this. Yeah, type that in now. Change the output scalar. I was hoping I would be able to trim the output scalar. Now I got my map and my EMF on the same line. They agree with part of it. It's called friction. Here are the maps too. It's rich across the board. All I did was like a partial pull. I wonder if that O2 sensor was just sooted up this whole time. Since it's been on an easy break-in. Well, now that it got off the pull, it's cleaned it off. Wonder. Let's do another pull or two real quick. Let's do it back to back. Camp's not matching. You know, that's the right value. It's, it's not matching in the car. So close to that threshold. Seems like it's mad, but happen. Pull timing out of it. Just keep pulling timing out of it. See if it gets any quieter. See if it's quieter, and then I think this one's a slightly higher compression ratio, so it probably would hurt. Oh no, this is the ING one. This is the low compression ING one. That's right. Oh, this is my bot meant. Forgot that I didn't build this. Or I didn't design this. No, I built the components design, right? It's like 5 degrees of pulling out of it. See if it gets quieter. If it doesn't get quieter, it's the exact same amount of noise, then that's just engine noise, right? 5 degrees, like, although even if it was not like knock, 5 degrees will reduce engine noise too. So that might be a little overzealous, but it's like 4.5 degrees. Quieter to right here. Power drop. Oh yeah, a lot. Oh, you guys, some cool. All right, is everybody here paying attention? This is my titanium connecting rod. So not done yet. This face gets polished and then gets DLC coated. And then this little section right here gets the counterboard. Then they'll be done. Titanium rods. Holy shit, let me tell you. So I started posting these on Facebook. It is revealing just what a toxic environment fucking Facebook is. And the issue with social media is it gives fucking people with no clue, no education, no freaking idea about how shit works, a voice to say just the stupidest shit you ever fucking heard. It's so annoying. But that's Facebook. All right, so we lost a lot of power pulling that much timing. I mean, that's 50 horse, right? That's freaking 50 horsepower that we lost by pulling out that 4.5 degree time. But the engine did get quieter. And what's crazy is that up here, the engine still made noise above the threshold, implying that it could have been knocked right up here. So the engine noise was on the 3, got above the threshold. Just filling the 3, though. That one's pretty good. And then the EMtron pulled a fuck whack of timing. But you see my threshold is actually dropping towards redline here when engine noise is going up. So threshold does have to increase. 3 might need to have a degree pulled out of it up there up top. 3 and 4 probably both need to have some pulled out of it. All right. Some weird some weird things going on I'm trying to work through.
What's that?
Some weird things I'm trying to work through. I think something's going on with PCV system.
So,
It's like lots of oil and it let off. Um, I haven't looked at the coolant yet, or the intake air temp. Do that right now. It's hot, 125, and that's only on a 14-pound pole. Of course, it's hot as balls right now,
it is super hot.
but it starts off at 106. That's how hot it is right now. Before, um, so I mean, I guess a 20-degree rise is bad. You know, that's not bad considering how fucking hot it is right now. So I'm interested to see what'll happen when we get
Mhm.
less than 90 degrees outside. I have no AC on in here, so it's extra hot in here too.
Yeah, no good.
You feel the heat? You feel the heat poking your head in?
The the intercooler is not 100 degrees. 100, and not even a little bit.
Um,
It feels cold to the touch.
right now.
Less than what I am.
Oh, maybe I got the wrong scale in it. I don't think so.
It's got your air temps indicated.
Right. I swear I checked that. Yeah. IET fast response.
Yeah, there's no shot at keeping the grade. I'd say it's high 80s, maybe. I think I'm just gonna put the Davies Craig, the aluminum housing pumps on all these, and then I'll just dash 10 them down or dash them down to the right size lines because they're like 16 or something like that outlets.
Yeah, they're inch and a quarter. So yeah, 16.
So and then I'll just go with 16 to dash 12.
Wait, is that right? Inch and a quarter 16, is that right?
I'm pretty sure they're 16.
Because 10 is 5/8.
Yeah.
So 16 is
Three.
16 is 1 inch. And they're 1 1/4, so they're 20.
Okay.
Right, that makes sense. A lot of water pipes are 20. Yeah, so they're 20. Okay.
So
So
I'll dash them down to the right size things, but I think we just need more water. They were putting a lot of BTUs in them. And I think what's happening is it's heating up the water in the core, not necessarily the water in the system.
right, it's not flowing through it fast enough. It's not
Yeah.
enough water flowing through it.
Yeah. Right, the water is moving too slow through it.
Why
It's
does
absorbing all of the heat. It's just not going anywhere.
but
Staying.
why is it so slow on this setup versus like Libby's? Because we had the small pump on Libby's, that thing held temperature fucking phenomenal in boost. And that had a smaller core. Is it because the reservoir was higher on that one?
I don't know.
It had a smaller pump, or the same pump as this.
Essentially the same.
Yeah, the only difference is the reservoir size and the heat exchanger out front.
This has way more reservoir.
Yeah, right. Oh, I meant, yeah, this got more reservoir, but the location is different. It's
Yeah.
lower.
The reservoir location is different because the first Libby's car had no reservoir. It had the swirl tank at the top. That was it. Which was like 2 quarts.
Right.
So it's like whatever was in the core, whatever was in the heat exchanger, and then 2 quarts. Which that was just a Corvette, a C5 Corvette heat exchanger too. Or CR1 one or whatever it was.
Right. The one that we, the heat exchanger. Yeah, yeah.
Just a plastic intake CR1 one or something.
No, it was a ZL1 Camaro one.
Yeah.
That I got from Eddie.
So, which I think I'm gonna start using the F30s, M3s,
Those are huge though.
not the core.
I thought they were like, I
Exchanger?
thought they were tall and skinny.
They're not very big. Yeah, they're 19 by 23
They're 23 tall though,
or 21 by 23. That's 21 by 23.
but they're taller than wider, right?
They're narrower than these radiators, or they're shorter than these radiators are.
Oh, okay.
By just a little bit, yeah. Those seem to work really, really good.
Do you have a heat gun?
I don't. Well, I mean, I have like just a laser one.
Yeah, do you have that? Yeah, yeah. I bought the whole fucking contact pyrometer set for this dyno tune. I fucking forgot it. Remember Marad, but I forgot the pyrometer set. It's the advantage of titanium rods over conventional 4340 style. Advantage is lighter. That's the biggest one right there. Lighter is the advantage. So the definition of horsepower is how fast you can move something, right? So how fast can I move this mass in a period of time, right? Not velocity, or not just the speed that you can move it, but in the period of time. How do I say that? So like when you're on the freeway and you're driving steady state, if there was no friction, there would take no horsepower to keep it going at that speed. Right, so that's not a good. What the fuck? The network connection was closed due to license limitations. Oh my god, and that's went cunt on you. I guess AWS is just trying to push you away from the product, huh? It's measuring the heat. Oh, so 100.
On the right next to the IHC sensor itself, it's like 98.
Okay.
If I angle it, it's like 100, 101. If I go straight down on it, it's like 98.
Yeah, my temperature says 99.5.
Fucking dead on.
All right, so we're good.
All right. The turbo outlet says 294.
Oh, really? On the white pipe?
All trick.
Yeah.
Not on the chrome. Right next to the chrome of the compressor housing.
The compressor's 294. Oh, sure, because the filter's sucking off the header too. Which wouldn't be the case on the road.
No.
Because you're moving, there's air flowing through it.
Yeah. I mean,
To some degree.
the under tray is making, well, I do have the Snorkish in there. So, but there's no frontal pressure to go, and the hood's not down. So,
Right. Yeah.
it's blowing out the hood lamp.
Yeah.
But I did put the Snorkish on there. Because that'll blow air over that hole. So,
Yeah, that's great.
another thing, Carson's car.
Yeah, his work
Hot
did.
summer
Well, finally works after you fixed all that shit.
Starting temp, 116 by the end of the run. A full quarter-mile pass. That max change.
Right.
Awful end tanks. A $200 heat exchanger and a Prius battery flip phone. Worked great.
Right. So what's with this one?
And what's up with Chris?
Right.
I don't know.
Part. I had probes. I bought them. Then I forgot them at home. All right, let's get back to this. Fucking hot as bitch. I cannot wait till this fuel is gone. I can spend all. Now it gave me the big jumps. Of course. 3 right there. Late 3s out of 3. It's the exact same RPM though. That makes me wonder. Is that threshold still high enough? Or threshold or the noise? I just want to throw ethanol in and find out. Prefer to tune a methanol first, honestly. This is way off. It's only a little bit rich here. 3% on average. Look at our air mass. Our throttle is 20% less than. So at 100% throttle, TMAF is not very accurate. And that's where the outflow scaler comes in. Why was so rich all of a sudden? This is even worse. We pull that O2 sensor reads richer and richer. I wonder if it's bad. It's fucking brand new though. What's the dyno? What you say? Dyno 2 says 11. Right, so what's going on? Our fuel mass did go up. Well, there, based on map mass went up by a tiny bit, but not by 50%. I've got a compensation somewhere that I must have missed, or it's that. Why is ethanol temp 63 degrees Celsius? Is it really that hot? There's no way, right? There's no way the fuel temp is 60 degrees C. All right, so maybe we found it. Let me see. I don't know if you guys see the run times that popped up or not, but it's on GM sensor. Pro signal. Definitely wants to pull up. These filters fucking up. Or maybe it's actually that hot. But the fuel tank says it's got almost half it right now. It's 145-degree fuel temperature, if that's true. Use pressure is near atmospheric. Manifold pressure is as expected. Charge temp's 132. I'll buy that. I mean, the fuel temp's 140, so it's not going to cool the air temp much at all. And the air temp's 101. It's all zero. It's good. It's all good. Is that right? A 9.3 dead time on these injectors? That doesn't seem right. That seems high. It's high. At 14 volts, it's 882. We got it right now. 14 volts. Okay. Thank you. You go to the ID website and see, data is ECU dependent because it depends on the driver. So the data on that front page is not the data that will match everything. And that's something a lot of people realize. The laptop's crawling right now, guys. Trying to get on the internet. It's not doing it. Um, how the injectors are driven affects what their actual data will be by a little bit. Especially coils. Coils is a big one. That one is affected a lot by the driver in the system, way more than most will realize. Paul Yacht did a thing on that. He showed how much, and it was dramatic. The dwelling needed between two different ECUs for the same coil packs was huge. Okay, I already got this downloaded. Um, sorry, I suck at multitasking. Okay, built that there. It's 816 at 200 kPa. We don't have right now, but we choose this. It's the format. We got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, everything. 5, 1. It's a good way to shut it down up there. Oh, paste. Sorry, I can't check that in. I don't know how it's wrong. It's only a little bit, but a tenth of a millisecond. Matter at idle. Won't matter up top at all, but it totally matter at idle. There we go. See how that plays out. Ambient temp right now in this room, 92. 92 in the room right now. Parallel system. Yes. An excessive fuel pressure decreased heat. I mean, the pumps run an increase in speed. The amount of effort the pump has to put out will increase heat because the pump gets warmer next time. F3 gets your left. Yeah, I know, John. I've been on it the whole time. You just can't see it because you're not seeing my screen. Johnny GTR. Like I don't know an EMtron. Hey, did you know that I sold more EMtron than anybody in the entire world, minus two people? In every country except for Norway and Australia, I sold more EMtron data and two more EMtron cars than anybody else. I was, or the third, other than two people. One guy in Norway, one guy in Australia did more than I did. That's it. In the last 6 months. I got an email from EMtron. It said, congratulations, you were the number three seller in the last 6 months. Just crazy because it's just me. And I sell just to my customers and my tunes. I don't even sell to other people. Like, I do a little bit, a couple of those sales were to other people, but almost every single one was a customer that I've tuned or that I'm in the process of tuning. And I got number three in the whole world. Anyways, right now, my run times are open. You can't see them because I don't have it attached. So Johnny GTR, right now, run times are open, and that's what I've been looking at. Stations are almost all zero. So why is my Sunday running so freaking rich? You should better double check those slow pull stuff too. Forty-eight, 52, 613, 92, 82, 84, 99, 1129, 126, 265. Okay, yeah, so got the right axes on it. And those are the right values. Looks like for the 400. That says 200. That's definitely not 200. That's why right there. Just double check for the EMtron data again. You guys can't see all my screen stuff. I say again, because you're only capturing certain windows. 4822. Yeah, next spot up 6433. Yeah, then 8751, 8544, 5217, 300. It's right there, 8544. Yeah, that is good. Let's go to our density. Now, what's possible here is that track this value is too low at this temperature, right? Like the fuel's not actually that light at this temperature. That is a possibility. But I feel like it's something else. To be honest with you. There's a big drop right there, though. Whoopsie. Yeah, I think it just has to be the fuel pressure being 140 degrees. Or if it's just atomizing really, really, really well because it's so hot that even though the density is going down, it's atomizing so well from the heat that it's running rich. Because there's nothing else in that that I can think of that any compensations that I have going on that would cause that, unless there's just one more here somewhere. Fuel. Is there a fuel temp in here? Oh, I bet I do have a fuel temp. Oh, temperature fuel. There it is. Nope. It's engine temp. It's based on air mass. It's based on the fuel coming in. Its ratio. So we can turn this one on and then do it based on fuel temp. But you wouldn't think fuel temp you even need less fuel unless it really is uh, such an increase in volatility that it's making it rich. That'd be something though. Great. Would really be something. So now we've got the TMF low, the map is high. I'm really confused as to why it changed so fast. Some holes. I don't want to just go in here and be like, oh no, the VE drops. Let's take it down to 45. Like that doesn't, it's not like, you're not, um, you're not verifying that that's what's going on when you do that. You're just reacting. Right? And I don't want to just react. I want to make sure that the things that I'm seeing make sense. For example, right now if we go to, this is all map, so it's going to be on the richer side, so the map was rich. We go all TMAF, which was a smidge leaner. You see the fuel come down a smidge there. And I mean that's not outlandish. Pull a little bit out. I don't know. I really think this fuel temp is an issue. Okay, I reacted. Good and real. All right, let's go step. So I'm richer than target significantly. And I'm in full map control right now. Took T-map off when we're at full throttle. Um, so you see we're 10% here plus 5% to target. So we're 15% rich to this whole pull. And at full pressure, I gotta work on that apparently, because that's 14 and that's 240. What RPM is this? Oh, 4,000. Okay, so it's cooling faster than I anticipated. So the boost control is so following boost control target for the most part like that. So we can definitely bump this up a little bit. I didn't think it was gonna come in that quick. So waste-speed duty cycle here was higher than needed. Here was lower than needed. That's why. Zero there. Turn the AC on for a minute, just so I was fucking here. Hello. 320. Oh, really? It's 180? That's crazy. How much was it? Yeah, the key is how well does it do when it gets hot? All right, that's the big thing. And everything gets hot, does it slow down even more? Being under the headers and shit. Right. Any of them. What they cost? Nah. I mean, will they take it back? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would just run the OEM one then. Yeah, I hate that. Yeah, I would. Right? Yeah, that's what I would have thought. But dang. Fuck you, it said. Fuck you. But anyway, so it makes it oscillate. You want the boost to oscillate a smidge and then pull the oscillation out.
You have another Ethernet to USB.
No,
You only have one.
I don't use any.
Huh?
I don't use any.
How do you connect to these?
My Ethernet, back my laptop.
Your laptop has a Ethernet?
All my laptops do.
And where'd you get it from?
Every single one of them. All six of my laptops have Ethernet. Even my Lenovo Flex, my little guy's got it.
Goodwill?
It's a fucking $1,300
Grandma
laptop.
having a estate sale?
This thing's brand new. This is brand new. Look at this thing.
Brand new from the 90s?
No, this thing's a beast. This thing's brand new fucking MSI. Look at this.
The fuck?
Yeah. This thing's fucking
Yeah, I have Libby's powered out.
fucking got an RTX fucking video card in this bitch and everything.
Huh?
I got an RTX video card in this bitch and everything.
I know.
Where's the one that Chase bought?
That's a serial port.
Oh, right.
Yep. And EMtron, well, I guess Boomslang is the one doing it, but Boomslang insists on using Ethernet.
That's EMtron. Because it's literally 4 of the Ethernet cables on the bottom. The Shadow's USB, but man, is it slow as fuck.
The USB-C.
Yeah, it's slow as fuck.
Is it?
Yeah, it's problematic too.
I did talk to them.
I mean, I know they're working on it.
They said that you can run. He was very confused. He said that the Shadow will run VA SDI no problem
It'll run one.
with with all the inputs and everything. Like there's no issues.
Who said that?
The Boomslang guy.
Well, then he's not counting them.
I counted him too.
It wasn't enough.
I have the sheet.
And there wasn't enough, right?
I was 4 short.
Right. So what's he disabling?
Unless they're wiring them in differently or using different, like they're using the can control for the cruise or something like that.
Well, for the VA, some of the crews is canned.
It shows in the link plug out it's all DIFT. It's 4. Fucking cruise 4.
Right. I think this year's canned.
But he gave me the printout of how they wire them in so I could look at it.
Oh no, these are analog tubes.
But he's going to look into the can check module. He's like, I've never used one of those. Are they compatible? And I was like, yep. It says it right on the website. It's like 5 ECUs or something like
Yeah,
that.
it works everything.
It's like, that's interesting. And I was like, yeah, because like we can't run ethanol or any other thing. Like the only thing it leaves open is both TGV signals. That's it.
Yeah, but is a Shadow plus can check plus wideband cheaper than a KB?
Yeah, by about $1,500. They're
Not
$3,400.
The 32, but yeah,
Yeah.
32
The Shadow 8's
is
16.
is 16. Yeah,
plus
then 21.
$299 for the can check module.
Yeah, so 2,400. So it's $800 cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a deal.
that's a lot of money.
breaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So, plus it's a lot easier to say $20-something $100. If I say 34, people just turn around and walk away.
right. Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
I mean,
Unless
still
we're deleting
it
exhaust
still
gases.
becomes that though, because the boomslang arc's on top of that. It hits 3,000.
The fucking EMtron can lambdas are $599 too expensive.
They're 530.
Yeah. It should already be on the fucking board.
Yeah, I agree. The Shadow should have it for sure.
No ECU shouldn't have it on the board unless it's like the cheapest one that they sell. Like a Monsoon or a Black.
Right. Well, the Shadow's the cheapest one.
That's it.
Oh,
$400 cheap.
right. Yeah.
That's like, but let's see, I got this.
Yeah. Because it's got 4 networks, 4 Ethernet for communication. It's got 4 used for Ethernet. The SL uses Ethernet, right? So that's 4 pins out of those 2 plugs.
How expensive is a Wi-Fi chip? Because last time I checked on Amazon, they're like less than $3
For what purpose?
for a Wi-Fi chip. So you can just Wi-Fi
Oh.
the damn thing.
Some of you guys do that. I mean, the Wi-Fi, the
Well, I mean, put it on the fucking board, like Caltex or anything else.
yeah,
Put it on the
the
board.
Link G5 Voodoo's got
And the
Wi-Fi on it.
okay?
Yeah, I don't know if it works or not, but I'll start tuck my Wi-Fi settings. Sync drive's so nice, so smooth. All right, let's see if we make the boost fluctuate. Well, it didn't fluctuate. It's a little under the target, but it comes up, then departs and comes up. So this delay, you see, so this is a good lesson in PID control. So we see PID, the derivative is very inactive through most of it until we get a little noisy on the signal here up top. I might actually throw a little filter on that signal to help it out. But you can see it's a little noisy up here, so the derivative gets a little friskier because the derivative responds to the rate of change of boost. So that makes it a little jittery. You see that here on the duty cycle at the end. But that's all derivative action. The derivative is really, its best function is down here. So what do I want to say about that? Its best action down here is we're approaching the target quickly. So right now my map for derivative gain is set based on target error. So as we approach it, it gets a little more sensitive. And boost target. Now I don't like that. That doesn't really do as much good. Other than when you have a higher target, you scream up towards it quicker, right? If it's a low target, you go, oh, I'm there. But if you had a high target, then it just avalanches, right? And the boost is then screaming way up. And that's where having a higher derivative pays off as you approach that, peak target. Oh shit, But the thing is that steeper ramp is derivative, right? So I'm creating, like we'll say if I have this ramp and I have a 1 and this is double the ramp and I have a 2, this derivative is a gain based on the slope of the line as it is. Now I've got an exponentially increasing derivative, right? Because I have 2 times 2 anyways, the point is I have this slope, my gain is going to be based on a certain amount, and at this slope I have a different gain value, then I'm going to get a different output off of that again. So now I'm like exponentially increasing it. So that's where derivative should, in theory, just work at a single gain value. Really, this whole map, for example, I could probably put at 1, and it would be fun. But what can happen, though, is that it's still going to respond to those little jitters. So the other thing that I can do is say, you know what? I don't need to do it based on boost target. Let's do it based on RPM, right? So engine speed, based on engine speed. Now, what that means is that if the boost is screaming up at a higher RPM and I shut it down some, we could potentially blow through it. So that part kind of sucks, right? Because now we're talking about, well, what if I just downshifted and the boost is now coming in at 5,000 instead of, low in the pole at 3,000? And I have less derivative, I could overshoot my target more up there. So now I'm like, again, well, shit, do I want to dumb it down up there, right? That's not necessarily a good way of doing it. Another thing to do would be do it based off of your proportional error, right? So while that's the same as fucking boost error, though. Proportional is directly from boost target error. What else do we do it off of? Do a timer. So if we're time at full throttle, we can set a timer based on a delta. We get within 30 kPa of our boost target, and the timer starts. And after 5 seconds, it turns off derivative. Now, that may sound crazy, but that's actually kind of what Link does. Link does that exact thing. Link takes, it does your boost control in stages, and when you get within a certain range, it changes the boost control mode. So if I was to initiate a timer based on my error, then when I go within that target and then wait 2 seconds or whatever, then that gives the derivative time to respond and then shut down. And what I could do is I could even trip it based on that error and then have it just fade away over time. So if I wanted to take this, instead of engine speed, I come here and I say timer. I have the wide open timer, and that's maybe a good idea, but if I'm wide open at 2,000 RPM or 4,000, now it's not really happening, right? That's not really good. So I can make my own timer. User timer 2, let's do that. And then our starting value is going to be 0 seconds, or we're going to want to work really good. Then we'll say 0.5 second increments just for SMGs, and then generate that. I'll generate that. My brain was not working. I wanted to say all that to generate, but you got to do all capital letters, that, and then it generate, and then it'll do all the spots. Okay, so now I do it based on my timer. Sure. 1 will be my most active that it was. So if I go back, I'll say, stop it. Fat fingers, fat fingers. Go back to this table, and I'm going to change my axes again. I'm going to change this to user timer. Timer 2. Okay. Generate that. Hit OK. Nope, don't change anything. But I want to go, okay, so I actually want this the other way around though, unfortunately. So I want this guy on the top. Okay. Now, I take my user timer, I need to turn it on. So go to configure, functions, timer functions, user timer 2, function on. I call this boost timer. Go tuning, timer function, boost timer. And I'm going to turn this timer on based on a few things. I'm going to say we want it to happen if RPM is higher, not lower. So we'll start off with engine speed. Greater than 3,500. Okay. Then I'm going to add another channel to that. Okay. And then we're going to say, and boost error. Boost target error is less than, let's say, 30 kPa. That. And hit OK. Oh, the timer reset. Resets when it turns off. Yep, that's what I want. And max time, uh, we'll go for 8 seconds. Okay. All right. So now I'll have derivative all the time. And all I'll do here is just make a less derivative. 0.2 like that. Then I'll fade it out as that timer happens. That'll mean that when I get close to the top end of the pole where that map sensor is jittering, my derivative will have less action. Now these guys, integral, up, down, up. Now we're below the target. And so you can see it's still adding, right? We're still adding duty cycle with the integral. But because our boost target kind of has this little plateau here and isn't as smooth, the integral change, the value of the integral gain is different based on that error. So I'm going to bump this target a smidge through here, right there. So my boost map, raise up its target. So it's a little bit of that right there. Smidge more. This. That'll be less linear. That's a flat spot at the time. Okay. For that. Okay. And now what we see here is that it actually did dumb it down. Now you look at this line, it looks more jagged. It automatically changes uh, the axes, right, to the highest and most. So before when we had jittering, it was jittering at 2.83 or so. And now we're at 1.6. And up top here, where the most jittering was occurring before, you see it's almost nothing, right? And you see all this noise right here, hardly any response at all. Okay, so what we can do now is you go to our timers. Did they move? Transient limits, idle. Where the timers go? Interesting. They must have moved them. Oh, okay. Well, they moved. I don't see them. Still rich as balls, by the way. Like, I haven't even fixed that yet. You can see voltage dropping a little bit during a pull here, but not a lot. Triggers, no triggers. That's nice. Cam control. Cams are still maintaining decent control. Big cams are hard to control in the exhaust in these things. The spring in the gear is too weak. So, all right. Well, then we're going to add it. Kind of should anyways because it's now part of our function. So add it to here. So I'm not using turbo speed on this car. We're going to add user. Oops. Okay, so the timer 00 right there. So that timer kicks on 0.24, and you see our derivative is still pretty active right there. See right there, it responded to that little wiggle and boost. 1.0, 1.4, 1.7. We have this jiggle kind of right here, and it responds to that, and that's good. I want to respond to that because that's dropping, right? That dropped too much. How much of that is a jiggle in the map sensor? I don't know, but I want to be closer and tighter, right? And then here, where we get all these little oscillations, these jiggles, hardly any, because now our timer's at 3 seconds, and 2.5 was the limit on the map. So right about where we want this to be less sensitive, it becomes less sensitive, and that's good. And but we can still tweak it, and that's obviously in this gear. That's going to change for each gear. So we may want to do it more aggressive, only 1.5 seconds, so it cuts out here, and then let the rest of the system behave like it's supposed to when it's already really close. So that's just a demo of like the kind of stuff you can do with the EMtron to get everything to behave the way you want it to. The gray hair suits me. Yeah, because I'm old balls. Look at that. I used to dye that shit because I had these weird gray patches. It wasn't uniform. So, yeah. Sean Ramsdell with the most. I don't know who Sean Ramsdell is. Let's see. See who it was. That could be that guy. What's the name of his shop? Where'd he go? Invoice, 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 invoice. Shipments. Here it is. Beneficia Dealer Challenge. Michael Kalatsakis. Sticks from Quick Fits. QuickFits.com. They were the number one. And then Gout Hofstad of Pro Tuning Support in Norway. Did I say Norway? I said Norway, right? Yeah, in Norway. So and then me. So first place was QuickBits.com, operated by Michael Kalizakis, something, and then PTS in Norway from looks like Gout Hofstad. Gouta? Goiter? I don't know. Ramsdale Racing? No. Send me a Hemi. I, I don't I don't do Hemis. I don't build Hemis. Okay. All right. So anyways, hopefully that shows you guys some of the stuff we can do using timers and things like that. I am going to bump that filter up on the map, I think, a little bit. We'll take a look at it, see where it's at. It's already high. I don't want to go crazy with it. It's on a 10. That's not bad. Well, a 12. Teensy weensy bit more. Okay. Oh, dude, fuck you. I gotta do that. Go to something else now. NAS got cunty. I'm not offering computer sport. Why is base angle bounce around so much? Let's go look at that. Well, that's odd. It says ignition basing bouncing, but it doesn't seem to be the case. This is PID. If you look at this now, what you're going to see that's not even the same angle. Why is the base angle different? It's weird. Uh, so that's going to be idle control, and that's in our idle ignition table and in our PID setup. So I've got the gain a smidge too high. What we do is we turn on derivative first and see what happens. Okay, so we can see that that is proportional. All right, that wiggle, that's proportional. See how much it's bouncing? So we want it to bounce a smidge on proportional. For integral to do a shot, I want to bounce a smidge. But see, it was too high because it's still bouncing. I pulled almost 20% out of it, or over 20% out of it, still bouncing. So let's go to 0.5. That's pretty good. Okay. A lot less bounce. All right. See here, a lot less bounce on the timing. Obviously, the RPM is always going to have a wiggle to it. And by me changing the filtering on that map sensor, that changed how the PID for this works. I don't know why the map sensor would have done that, because it's based on idle error. I guess that'd be correct. What I said was wrong there. It'd be if I change the filter on the crank position, which you can do on these. You can change the crank filter as well. So we can see our timing here. It's got a little bit, I want a little more bounce than that though. But 6 again. See how active it is right there? Oh shit, I turned it to 1. So that's there. Okay, watch it wiggle. A little oscillation. 0.5. A little less oscillation. Maybe an 0.45. That's a little smoother. We want a little bit of oscillation, and then you want to bring in your derivative, and that should help stabilize things. The ignition is going to wiggle because of the derivative, but the space the cam sensor. Okay. So small. 50,000, so it's kind of low. Zero. Oh, four. Do it, Henny. It's dawn. I don't build Hemis. Wait, is that like Dawn Dawn? It's like Dawn from New York Dawn? I haven't talked to you in like 18 years, Dawn? Probably only been like 8 years, but still. Uh, it is. Hey, dude. So smooth, man. So fun. Big air, shifting, get down, shifting. I match first gear even. Look at that. Great. It's great. All right, sorry, fucking around. Let's get back into making some jam. That cylinder noise. If I need to raise the limit right here, or if it's because the fuel's so fucking hot. I know I gotta raise the limit. You see the like I said, the ramp's going, but losing all that time up there with the cylinder noise, I don't know. I don't want to be knocking this thing like crazy. Let's lower that fuel temp, some fresh fuel. Are all three of these ethanol or is one pump gas? Perfect. I'm out of fuel. All right, so that fuel tank gauge thing is off a smidge. Sounds like it's lower than it is. Where is that funnel? Where's the fuel tank funnel? Fuel funnel. The one with the end cut off of it? I mean, I looked in the normal area. I didn't look in other areas. Where at? Where are you pointing to?
In front of the
Oh, okay. There is a black funnel back here. It's not the one though. I'll grab it in case we don't find the other one. Why, what's up?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't his battery like in that key fob dead? Didn't it say charge battery at one point on the screen? Is it in the cup holder? Huh. Well, is the key on? Well, then it won't do it. Fob doesn't lock and unlock if the engine's running or the key's on. Only if the key's off. I think that's true. That's all my other car is. Where all this ethanol? I can tell already. Even the gas I'm pouring in here is a fucking 100 degrees. I'm gonna double check that if what I said was right with this car here. See if this 18 locks and unlocks with the fob when it's running. I don't think it does. And there's about a gallon. Let's take a peek. Find this card right here. Yeah, nothing. I'm not high. I do have that card. Yeah, bought it new in October 2000. Fuck, you were there. You went for a ride in when I first bought it. We took it to the strip club. Had like 1 or 2 days. The first place I take you to John to it, it's strip club. That's hilarious. Run a little bit. So that's hot as hell. It's going down, but still the 60 C rate. That's for both playing. Oh my god. Oh, okay. 30% ethanol. Definitely dropped a few degrees. Yeah, it's still full. See how that does. 3 degrees. Say, that's just the noise. It's pretty consistent. This RAM right here with engine RPM. So that's just the noise of that cylinder on the sensor. Now I can knock it down a smidge itself, or I can knock the threshold down a smidge, but I can do either way. Um, so I go knock, trouble from here. I can change it by some years, so I can bring this down like a percent, bring this down like a percent or whatever. And something like that. Less close to the sensor, that's second pulse. That's, on the same side of the block, and that's flips away. So you expect the noise to be different for each one as it comes across. So that's one way of doing it. But the threshold still does need to go up. It's not tapering up quite enough. And some of that's because of this area. Went into this biggie table, but now that we're that's been following. So 66. Yeah, 68. And we're 20 something what you need. He's got basic competition. I think there's something going on. That doesn't make any sense. All these values are where they should be. This thing should only be 50, 55 at idle tops. Like, there's no reason for it to be higher than that. Still in this range. Well, it is adding a lot right here in that spot. So the drops. Could punch this down a smidge. That that's the thing too. I tell people all the time that the IE tables are good, but they're not perfect because each injector is different, and they match injectors to a set, but from one set to another, they don't match. And where they don't match the most is here in this area. So these numbers give us the general curve of the behavior of these injectors based on their internal geometry, etc. But there's going to be some small differences in there. You may have to tweak this a little bit here and there. There's going to be some small changes. Now, I just made a small change to it, and it didn't do shit to the air-fuel ratio. You can see we're still rich. So it didn't help much. Matter of fact, the pulse width is half a millisecond, which is crazy to me. So small. Uh, Injector 725, I think is what it says for this pressure. It's small minimum pulse width. Dead time, we already verified those. And honestly, we could drop that down a teeny bit too, if we wanted to, just a little bit. That's, again, that's another thing where the each can be slightly different, but it's not going to be. That one is very much the resistance of the coil and, the weight of the slug. Small one. Yeah, so this fuel density went up, as you'd expect with ethanol. But honestly, it could be too damn steep. This curve could be too steep in this high temperature area. May need to be lower. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I went the wrong way earlier. I lowered it. And that's the wrong way. That made it worse. Jackass. Turn this. Bring this back down. This. Hit that guy. Yeah, I fucked that up earlier. I made that problem worse. Did I go down with it? Or did I go up with it? Someone's got to remind me. I don't remember now. If I went down with that number, I made it worse. If I went up with the number, then it was the right direction. But I don't recall now. We're in now. Well, what happened to then? Past it. When? Just now. That's maybe I'll look for that one. Just now. Okay. Right. Yeah, dude. I'm fucking 49. Almost. Or 49. About 50. You know that's already know what that's like. Hey, look at the power. How was the last one? Oh, it went up. That's expected. Let's do it again. Change some setting. It's noise. That there is definitely knocked right there. That one, you see, it wasn't just a ramp. It peaked up right there. So definitely knocked. And then Trump pulled 8 degrees out of it in response. That's an aggressive pull. But I'll take aggressive right now on low ethanol. But yeah, that's number 3 is mad. So we'll go and add fuel number 3. 1 quiet, 4 almost exactly the same as 2. Those are all really good. 3 mad. Let's look at cam control on that bank. Right hand position, a little drifty. That's one of the issues with keeping exhaust ECS on big cams. Sometimes they don't always hit what they're supposed to hit. Now this duty cycle is not being very aggressive here either, so you see the duty cycle is pretty mellow. I could definitely add some to the PID to make it more aggressively search out the um, the target. I don't know why this goes to 10 right there. Oof. It's weird. Look at 2. Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. It's got really small values in here. We go at 10% total. Whoopsie, how about at 15% this one? Nig derivative alone, it's already pretty high. Max table 44, 45. In here we are at what? 40. So we're within our max. So we're not hitting that, but I want to bump that max up a tiny, tiny bit. Oh no, we're 55 right there. So 44 to 55 that temperature range. So that's fine. I'm gonna bump this one up this one. Oh, not that far. Yeah. Okay. So that exhaust cam will be a little more productive. And now I'm going to go to that knock system. I'll pull some of that aggression out of it. It's definitely pulling a butt whack of timing like immediately. Yeah, 8 degrees. Oh, that's the advanced overflow. Retard gain, 2.9. Retard limit, 8. That's too many. I quality degrees. Something I'd like about some of these knock control systems is how the window length, start angle, is the same for the whole thing. And I realize that in most cases, knock occurs at 20 degrees after top dead center. After. It's almost always when knock occurs in that window. But you can get it like at TDC. And so 10 before, you're fitting in that window, but I mean that's not gonna happen that much. And then you open yourself to the whole valves are closing inside the knock window thing and making noise, and that sucks. And then the angle here, that's how long it lasts. And you're not knocking at 40 degrees after top dead center. That would be really odd for the knock that late if the pressure's diving by then. That'd be really weird for the knock that late. So this window's a little large. Um, and let's double check our frequency. I thought I said 11 or 13. No, well, there's no problem right there. It's the wrong frequency. It's in a, so I'm in the first order resonance, which makes it way more sensitive to valve noise as well. Granted, it was loud there, and we don't want that to happen. So between 11.5 and 13 is where we want to be. Um, it was loud, and there's no doubt in my mind that that was not. But I think we're also opening ourselves up to noise from other cylinders, from other valves. So if the valve, when knock's happening on one cylinder, it could be happening on one, so the valve is shutting up. Yeah, let's go back. That's that one we just saw. Oh, God damn. I think the what? It is hot outside. This is not working out. Ambient temperature is 100 degrees now. It's not going in my favor. Trying to give it like a long time in between polls. You know, that was bad. 123, 102. Okay, I'll take that. It's probably fine. Um, and it's still rich as hell. I'm way richer than Target. We've got 8% right there plus my correction, which I think is 10, so I'm 18% rich. Now we know a bunch of that's on the top end uh, well, it's all speed density, right? It's all top end on speed density. So we know up here it's way too rich, which makes sense because the in the real world the V doesn't keep going up; it starts dropping, and the V starts dropping um, when exhaust pressure starts to exceed boost pressure. So it's been dropping in this range right here. Now this map only goes to this, so I have to open up this fuel map to see this only goes from 0 to 20. So I'll just fuel map up, and we're still rich ball because it should be dropping. It's not. So right here, 0.9, 0.88 multiply, and then where the boost is going to be, where the VE is going to be high, is going to be down here in this range, where the VE is the highest. This is all going to drop too, but won't drop as much, but it will drop as well. 0.2 because the exhaust pressure up here is a lot less. Okay. That's on V2, and you gotta bring that over to V1. Now this wiggle was here on the other map. Is it here in ethanol or not? We don't know. We'll find that out if that wiggle is there, but that's resonance in the engine right here aren't before. So as we pull it in, we may find that this doesn't be quite that much. The spot might go down some. Like that. But there's still going to be some resonance in that range. So that's the pump gas tune. Now this is ethanol. Same. Focus on that. Give it around 160 towards me the most. This will be a tiny bit lower. Now we got to blow this map up. So right now this map is 0 to 200 at 10 kPa each. That's better. I know we're going to add some in here somewhere. Let's go back to the other one. I don't want to turbulate so aggressively this time. Just like that. And I'll stop from turbulating the whole way up. Sure. So just a reminder, the V drops as load goes up. I did not go down far enough for that one. Let me stop that every time. When the exhaust back pressure gets high. That's just because I'm retaining more exhaust gas I'm able to get rid of. So what happens is how do I say it? When the piston is coming up on the exhaust stroke, I'm compressing the air between the turbo and the piston, right? That piston moving up on the exhaust stroke, that is the driving force for the turbocharger. Compressing that air through that restriction that is the turbine housing and turbine wheel, pressing that air, pushing on it, and then that air flowing through there really hard is what drives the turbocharger. There's no such fucking thing as free power and the pulse will say. It is literally that pressure. Out with the piston. So we lose horsepower based on the back pressure of the engine. And we lose it in two ways. One, I have a piston, I got 10, 12 square inches of area. If I have 100 pounds of pressure, we'll say of exhaust, which is high, times that 10. to. But most of these cars were in like the 30 to 40 or so PSI. But still, times 10, 12 square inches. Now I've got 500 pounds of force pushing down that piston, trying to slow the engine down. Okay. So, one, with increased back pressure, we lose horsepower because we're compressing that shit. But why does VE drop? Well, if you think about it, when that piston gets a TDC, and then that exhaust valve is open and the intake valve starts to open, that exhaust pressure is way higher than boost pressure. Boost pressure is only 20, 30 pounds, and exhaust pressure is down. That pressure that's trapped in there once the exhaust valve shuts has to either leak into the intake or wait for the piston to go down until the pressure equalizes before we get flow through the intake port. So flow in the intake port slows down as it's getting fluted by exhaust and the piston's going down and it's not drawing in fresh air charge anymore because it's got this ball of high pressure, hot heat gas in the cylinder already. And then it's got to come down a further distance than if it was a lower pressure. And then finally, they can start drawing in fresh charge again. So we lose our volumetric efficiency because we spend it in retained exhaust heat. Or exhaust gas, I mean. Sorry. I suck at multitasking, trying to tune and teach at the same time stuff, even though I do it all the time. Okay, we'll try that out for now. This left side, I mean, we're never gonna hit 30 pounds of boost to this fucking zone here. Like, that's just never happening. So, it doesn't really matter a whole lot what this says. I hit that zone right there, which we'll do in a few minutes. All right, see what that does. It's so fucking hot. I have more fuel. This funnel sucks. This is the wrong fill. Fuck, man. Person there brought the right fill back. Carson! Damn you, Carson! All right. I got to go put a base map on another car. And Lane needs to do some work on this one to get the PCV system right. So I'm going to go do that. And then we need to let it cool off some. And I got cooler fuel in it because it's too fucking hot. The engine got hot during the last pull. Not like dangerous hot, but like I couldn't keep doing a pull if I, it's temp get prone up. So it's just too fucking hot today to tune. Unfortunately, my regular job, my 9 to 5 job, has been taking up all my fucking time. I've had no time to work on cars, so. And I had like so many cars backed up I got to work on. Everyone wants my help, and my shit never gets fixed. Life of the tuner. That's what it is. But anyways, next not a sob story. I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. It's in the stream. Go work on this other car for a little while, and then when the time comes to do more cool shit, then I'll take some videos of it. So until then, have yourselves a good one. I appreciate you stopping by. If you're even still here at this point in time, who knows?